This machine is known as the metal chop saw, and what it's meant for cutting metal apart. Now the first safety rule has to deal with all the protective gear that you're supposed to wear. Now of course, a couple of the basics. One, you gotta make sure you have your safety glasses on. Two, if you have long sleeves, roll them up. Three, if you have any long hair, make sure it's tied back and secured. And if you have any hoodie strings, make sure you tuck them in. Now for the safety gear, there's a bunch of additional things that you have to wear. It's either you wear all of them and you use the machine, or if you choose to not use any of the safety gear, then you won't use the machine at all. So there is no either or in between. So the first piece of safety gear that you're gonna have to wear will be these leather chaps. These chaps are leather and they're meant to protect your legs and your clothes down below from any sparks that shoot out. Now the way they secure around your waist, there's a little like snap right here, like a seat belt. So what you do is I suggest putting it so it's backwards around you, just like this. And of course for a lot of you, this is gonna be too big. So what I would suggest is taking up the slack, if you can, in your fingers, taking one of these little clips, which might be around you, and just clipping any of the slack up like that. That way, it's not gonna fall down past your waist. And then all that you're gonna do is take it, spin it around, so that way it covers the front half of you. Now there are these little buckles and snaps that can go around your legs. You can secure them if you want to, but honestly, I'm fine if you just let it drape, and this should be fine as is. The next thing that you're gonna need to wear is this fire-resistant welding jacket. So this thing's supposed to be really, really big and loose fitting. So all that you're gonna do is you're gonna put it around your body, just like this. And then to secure it, there's a bunch of these little snaps on the front. So make sure you get the collar all adjusted. And then all you're gonna do is go down through and snap all them on. So that way it's nice and secured. After that, the next thing that we're gonna need is some hearing protection. So I have little foam earplugs, so if you need them, just ask me and I will get them for you. Or we can use these ear muffs. All that you're gonna do with the muffs is you're gonna take them, open them up, and place them over your ears just like this. So the next thing that we're gonna be putting on is a face shield. So what you're gonna do is first, on the very back of the shield, you're gonna see there's a little dial. You wanna open it up just like this, so that way it's big enough to go around your head. And then what you're gonna do is place it over your head just like this, and you're gonna take the dial and turn it until it clicks a few times, and it's nice and snug. And then you're gonna take the shield and pull it down like this. The very last thing that you need to put on just to be safe will be something to cover your hands. In this case, we have welding gloves. All that you need to do is slip those on, so that way your hands are protected and you can't get hurt at all. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we want to go through the process of just clamping our piece down. Now of course, you're going to want to go through and measure everything out, which we should talk about that in class and have that covered. After it's all measured out and you have a mark like what you see here, what we're going to do is take it, loosen up the clamp by twisting this end counterclockwise, putting the piece of metal in here, don't tighten it down yet, and then you're going to take the top where the handle is and pull it down. And again, we're not turning it on, we're just lining it up. We're going to line the mark up. And after we have it lined up, we're gonna be taking this little clamp over here and making it snug so it doesn't go anywhere. So we have to clamp the workpiece down so it doesn't go anywhere. That's how this basic operation works. The next thing I want to talk about is how to turn the machine on. Now with this machine, it's set up in a way that there's actually a safety feature built into the trigger, which is this black part right here. If you try to squeeze the trigger as is, nothing really happens because the safety feature is engaged. But if we zoom in and take a look right here, you can see there's this tiny little trigger. If we take this little trigger right here and pull it with our finger, you'll notice that it does pull down. And once we pull it down, then we can squeeze the trigger the rest of the way, turn it on and engage the machine and turn it on and cut. Once you're ready to turn the machine on and make your cut, a couple things you have to keep in mind. First thing, when you're pulling down, you want to go at a nice, even, slow speed. You can pull it down a little faster right here, but once we come in contact with it, we want to go nice and slow. Apply just enough pressure that you can feel it cutting. You're going to see sparks shoot out and go everywhere. That's why we have our safety gear on. And we're just going to pull down lightly and slowly with medium pressure until it cuts the whole way through. After you're done with the cut and you see the piece fall off, like the scrap piece, you're just gonna let the trigger go and then lift it up slowly like this. After the machine slows down, then you can go in, loosen up the knob here out of the clamp, and take your workpiece out. So after you're done cutting your piece, you're gonna take it out of the saw by loosening it up and taking it out. And just be careful because the end that you cut over here is gonna be really hot. So in that case, there's another little water bucket here, just like over the bench grinder. You're gonna dip it inside, swirl it around, tap it, and then you're gonna have a nice cool piece. Again, never assume that a piece of metal is safe to touch. Always act like it's red hot and it could burn you. So always wear gloves, be careful, and dip it in the water if you're not sure.